In this true crime documentary, we uncover the shocking case of Breanna Schneller.
He took away someone's child. He took away my student. Brianna had a lot of life left. And it's really sad that it was taken from her at a very young age.
A photo of her side of her face. One of the things about Brie is that she had my nose. They brought that photo out. And I knew it was her.
On May 2nd, 2009, Breanna Schneller sent a simple message to her mother, Lori, asking her to come over and take the car so the brakes could be fixed. Lori smiled when she read it. Her daughter had just turned 18 only a few months earlier and insisted on living with her boyfriend, Sebastian Ramirez, even though Lori and Craig were not completely convinced by the idea. In the end, they gave in because they knew how deeply she cared for Sebastian, and they also trusted him enough to let her follow her heart. Still, Brianna sensed a hidden message behind her mother's reply, and quickly added that she could let Sebastian know if needed. Lori reassured her that there was no reason for that. She was already close by and would take the car herself. What Lori did not realize in that quiet moment was that this small favor would turn into the greatest mistake of her life, without even knowing it. By removing the car from the driveway, she had unknowingly set the stage for something she would never forgive herself for. 3 hours later, around 1 in the afternoon, while everyone believed Brianna was busy preparing for her high school graduation exams, the reality was far darker. Hugo Ramirez, the brother of Sebastian, walked into the house he shared with Brianna and Sebastian. What he found inside was beyond comprehension. Brianna was lying on the floor, lifeless, her world stolen in silence, her young future gone in seconds. How could an ordinary day filled with such normal exchanges spiral into the beginning of a nightmare no one saw coming?
Essex County 911, what is your emergency?
I have a neighbor over here. He speaks Spanish. I don't. The address is 1208 South 12th Ave. He said someone needs an ambulance over there. Yeah.
What's going on with him?
What's going on? What's the problem?
I don't know what happened. My mother's girlfriend is flying in school. Actually, she's dead. I don't know.
Oh my God! They said that his brother's girlfriend is lying on the floor, and they think she's dead. What is your name, sir?
My name is Hugo.
Hugo?
Hugo Ramirez.
Hugo Ramirez? You just get back right now?
I'm back from work right now, and
She's laying on the floor. Is she breathing? Is she responsive?
I think somebody killed her, or she killed herself.
She's got something around her neck. Her neck is cut. Oh my God! They said her neck is cut.
When Wasau police arrived at the apartment, they were met by Hugo Ramirez, who was still visibly shaken. His voice trembled and his hands would not stay still. The officers knew something terrible waited inside, but they had no idea how far the horror went until they stepped in. Guided through the small living room and kitchen area, the detectives followed Hugo down a short hallway. He pointed toward the bedroom at the far left. Before they even crossed the doorway, their eyes locked on a scene that made them stop cold. The carpet and walls were soaked in dark stains. Some had already begun to dry. The air carried a heavy metallic scent that clung to every corner. On the floor lay the body of Breanna Schneller, only 18 years old, her frame marked with deep injuries. The investigators' attention fell most on her hands, because to them they told a different story. If she had resisted, then perhaps there had been a struggle. Her hands confirmed it. They were torn, covered with cuts, clear proof of a desperate fight for survival. Hugo told them Brianna had lived there with him and his brother Sebastian, who was 22. The words barely left his mouth before the detectives exchanged uneasy glances. The place showed no signs of forced entry. Every lock and hinge remained intact, which meant either Brianna had willingly let someone in, or even worse, the person responsible had already been living there. 2 meters from where she lay, a broken iron rested on the floor, its edges stained with the same dark marks. Nearby, the scattered bills, small denominations thrown carelessly across the room, suggested this was never about theft. In the bathroom, smeared footprints led toward the sink. Inside the basin, 2 kitchen knives were found. One snapped at the tip, and both showing failed attempts at washing away what had been done. As detectives processed each clue, the weight of the mystery pressed down harder. The more they uncovered, the more the picture sharpened. After more than 6 hours combing the apartment, they reached one conclusion. Whoever did this had no intention of stealing anything. Instead, suspicion closed in on the only two men who lived there, Sebastian Ramirez and Hugo Ramirez, both devastated, both insisting they knew nothing. Yet detectives were determined to break through the confusion. Their first step was to turn to Hugo, the man who had discovered the scene. But the question remained, could the one who let them inside also be the one who knew far more than he dared to admit?
You live at 1208, what is that, north 12th or South 12th Ave? Who else lives there with you?
My brother.
Okay. And what's your brother's name?
Sebastian.
Okay.
And Breanna, his girlfriend.
And that's?
3 of us.
Okay.
Breanna
And what's
Schneller.
Brianna? Okay. Now, when was the last time that you spoke with Brianna?
Last night.
Okay, last night. And you said that was, were you working at the time?
Yes.
And that was at Tequila Salsa. So she was there, and what was she doing there?
It is a taco salad.
Okay.
For my brother.
Okay, so she came for a meal.
Yeah.
So she was there to wait for Sebastian to finish his work shift, is that correct? And what did you do after they left? Just finished your work shift?
My shift.
How late did you work last night?
Till 10:30.
So what happened after you left there at 10:30? Where did you go?
I didn't left. I got done with work at 10:30.
Okay.
I stayed there.
Okay, how late did you stay there?
12.
Then what did you do after 12?
We went to a bar. 2 of my friends and I.
2 of your coworkers?
Yes.
Okay. What bar did you go to? Do you remember?
Yes.
Paradox? About how long did you stay at Paradox?
Like 3.
Till 3?
Last call.
And then where did you go after that?
Friend's house. I don't know. Where is the house? I don't know who was the guy.
Okay. How late did you stay there?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Or I was here, to be honest. I never do this.
Okay.
And I feel bad about myself.
Okay.
Because I never took drugs.
Okay.
And last night, I don't remember how, but I took some.
You took some drugs last night?
Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of drugs?
I'm not sure, but it was white stuff.
Like,
Coke, I think.
okay. Powder or?
Powder.
And was that where were you when you took those drugs?
I was in the bathroom on the bar.
Okay. At Paradox? Who gave you that?
I don't even know. See, it was a bunch of people there, and I just.
But you don't remember who gave you those drugs?
For Detective Cord, the tears and shaky voice of Hugo were not enough to silence the doubts, because what Hugo admitted about his previous night only confirmed the investigators' darkest suspicions. He had spent the evening at a bar, drinking heavily and taking substances he could not even name. And worse, he did not know who had handed them to him. His age, only 19, made the story more troubling. The detectives began to wonder if whatever he had taken had clouded his mind so deeply that when he returned home, something irreversible might have happened, something that ended with Brianna lying on the floor. And because of this, Cord knew he had to press the timeline forward quickly.
So when you got home this morning at 4 a.m., what did you do then?
Turn on the TV.
Okay.
I put it on record.
Okay.
And I turned on the TV.
Okay.
And then I turned the lights off, and I fell asleep. My brother woke me up at 9:45.
Your brother Sebastian?
Yes. He just spoke to me saying, "Oh, time to get ready for work."
Okay.
And I turned on the TV, trying to watch the program I recorded last night.
Okay.
And then I get in the shower.
Okay.
Well, I didn't get in the shower right away. I hear them talking, my brother and Brianna. I don't know what they're talking about.
So you heard them talking?
Yeah, I heard them talking. And then he left.
Where were they when they were talking?
In the room.
Okay, so you weren't in the shower at that time yet. You were looking at the TV? Okay.
Trying to, yeah.
Could you hear what they were talking about?
So I just noises from voices, like right now they're talking, you can hear the noise, but no.
Okay, did it sound like any arguing or anything loud?
This is if it was being loud, and I'm right next to the room.
Sure.
I would have heard something suspicious, but no.
Okay. And what time did your brother leave? Because all 3 of you are at the apartment at this time. At what time did your brother leave?
10 or 9:55 around that.
So he was only there for about 10 minutes after you woke up? Okay.
If I would have stayed at home, nothing would have happened.
We don't know what really happened. So, okay, so your brother left in his car to go to work. And he also works at It's Akita's also. What time did you leave?
I say 10:15.
So at the time you left, you still hadn't seen Brianna. You heard her talking a little bit before that, right? With the brother, but you hadn't seen her.
The interrogation with Hugo stretched on for hours, and by the end, the investigators managed to outline a timeline that placed Sebastian leaving the apartment at exactly 9:55, and roughly 15 minutes later, Hugo followed him out. Both were expected to have spent the rest of the night at the restaurant where they worked, and on paper, that detail seemed to lock their alibis together. Yet the detectives were not satisfied, because the pieces still did not fit neatly into place. The image of the scattered bills across the bedroom floor lingered in their minds. Why were they displayed in such a strange fashion? And what message, if any, was hidden behind that careless arrangement? Even more pressing was the question no one wanted to say out loud. Could there have been any hidden relationship between Hugo and Brianna? That led to a conflict hidden beneath the surface.
Okay, dollar bills? Okay. From work or from tips?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very unorganized. My room is a mess.
Okay.
Always a mess. So if you can clean it because I don't know, something happened to me, I'm cleaning my room. But I look to see if somebody went in there to steal money, but the money is there. What's the point?
Had you ever had a relationship with her?
No, sir. No, sir.
Had she ever sought a relationship with you?
No.
So there was nothing, a romantic relationship going on between the two of you? Okay, you didn't feel any jealousy toward your brother because of their relationship?
I have my relationships too, but I haven't dated no one in like 3 months. I look at her like a sister, she look at me as a brother. Really got into our family.
Hugo stated that he returned home around 1:30 during his lunch break, and it was at that time that he discovered Brianna had lost her life. While the questioning continued with Hugo, Sebastian and Brianna's family were brought in to identify her, despite the number of injuries that made the process extremely difficult. Later that day, Sebastian was also interviewed, and he repeated the same timeline as his brother. The following day, the detectives turned to the medical examiner with one single goal: to determine the exact time of her passing, because only then could they know if the brothers were telling the truth. But the report gave them no certainty. It only narrowed the window to 3 or 4 hours before the discovery of the body, which meant that both Sebastian and Hugo remained the primary suspects. Armed with this information, the investigators returned to the apartment because one crucial piece of evidence was missing: Brianna's phone. Her family confirmed she always carried it, and it was the very same phone she had used to send her last messages to her mother. But the device was nowhere to be found in the apartment, so a warrant was issued to track it. And when they tried to call, the shock was immediate. The phone was still ringing, which meant the person responsible was possibly still using it. As alarming as that was, the bigger revelation came when the tracking data showed the signal near the restaurant where Sebastian and Hugo worked. Within minutes, detectives rushed to the location. There, in a dumpster close to the employee entrance, they found the phone sealed inside a takeaway bag from the very restaurant. The bag had been closed tight, so detectives decided not to open it until DNA samples could be secured, because whoever placed it there had surely left traces. The bag was sent straight to the crime lab, and the investigators then moved inside the restaurant to review the security footage. They had only one mission: to know exactly when the brothers arrived, and if they truly stayed the whole time they claimed. The cameras revealed a detail that shifted everything. Hugo arrived at around 10:20, while Sebastian had already been there 15 minutes earlier. Both remained at work until Hugo left at 1:20. A route check showed the drive from the apartment to the restaurant took 12 to 15 minutes, which meant something critical. The message Brianna sent to her mother proved without doubt that neither of the brothers could have been responsible. At that moment, the investigators felt the case had reached a dead end. Yet they did not realize that the takeaway bag sent to the lab carried far more than just a missing phone. It held one of the darkest desires imaginable. Inside the bag, investigators found 2 pairs of women's underwear carrying Brianna's DNA, along with 2 different sets of gloves, and her missing phone. But the discovery that froze them was not what lay inside. It was what clung to the outside of the bag. Traces of DNA that did not belong to Brianna, or Hugo, or Sebastian. A foreign signature left behind by someone else. The question haunted them. Why would someone enter an apartment, take a young woman's life, and ignore the cash scattered across the floor, yet carefully remove her phone and personal belongings, only to throw them away in a dumpster? The contradictions were chilling. From all of Brianna's possessions, the intruder had chosen only the clothing she had been wearing. That choice alone twisted the mystery into something darker. The detectives now knew their next step. The answer was not inside the restaurant, but outside near the dumpster. If they could identify who had tossed that bag, the case would unravel. But once again, an obstacle appeared. The restaurant had no exterior cameras pointed at the dumpster, so the search dragged on until finally a gas station camera nearby revealed a blurry figure. The image lacked clarity, but it showed enough. Around 1:16 in the afternoon, a person dressed in white approached the dumpster, lingered for 30 seconds, and dropped the bag before walking directly toward the restaurant. The implication was undeniable. Whoever ended Brianna's life was someone working inside that very restaurant. Every employee was called in, and DNA samples were taken, though the results would take time. Impatient to move forward, the investigators combed through the restaurant's interior surveillance, and then the puzzle pieces began to fall into place. The footage revealed one employee carrying a small white bag and wearing a white t-shirt stepping outside. At the same time, the gas station camera had recorded the figure near the dumpster. When detectives tracked his movements back earlier in the day, another detail struck them. At 10:20, he had left the restaurant wearing a brown t-shirt, yet by 10:56 when he returned, he was dressed in white. A window of time that perfectly overlapped with the moment Brianna's life was stolen. He was a cook in the restaurant. His name was Raul Pomrawacha. When the detective sat Raul down for questioning, he tried to explain his absence that morning with a simple story. He claimed he had left the restaurant because he needed to pick up another employee, a dishwasher named Luciano. When they pressed him further and asked where Luciano lived, Raul gave a detail that made every investigator in the room stiffen. Luciano's apartment was in the very same complex where Hugo Ramirez lived, and in that moment, the line between coincidence and connection blurred into something far more dangerous.
Did you ever leave the restaurant that day?
Yeah, in the morning.
What time in the morning?
Like around 10:30, 10:20.
And did you see Sebastian and Hugo before you left?
Yeah, because they were already at the restaurant.
Oh, they were? What time did they come, you know?
I don't really know. I can tell you what time because, like, I'm, prepping everything, getting everything ready, so I don't know. And, like, they outside, like, cleaning the tables and everything. So, I don't know.
When people come to work, where do they all come in at? Is there an employee entrance?
Yeah, the back door.
Does that come through the kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh, so everybody comes through the kitchen when they come in. Okay, so you leave at what, 10 did you say?
10:30-ish.
10:30-ish? And where?
I went to the apartments to pick up Luciano because he lives there. Where did I park? In front of Luciano.
In front of Luciano's? Okay. Was Luciano ready to go, or?
Yeah.
How long does it take you to drive from Tequila to those apartments?
10 minutes.
So you pull in, and do you have to honk the horn, or is Luciano coming out?
No, I did.
How long does it take for him to come out after you honk the horn?
2 minutes.
Alright. Then what happens?
Then we went back to the restaurant.
Another 5-10 minutes back to the restaurant.
Raul had no idea the detectives had already broken down his timeline step by step. According to his own statement, Luciano had been ready and came down immediately. The drive from the restaurant to the apartment complex should have taken no more than 10 minutes, which meant Raul should have reached there around 10:30 in the morning. Yet the cameras showed him walking back into the restaurant at 10:56, leaving a gap of 16 minutes completely unaccounted for. To the investigators, those 16 minutes were more than enough time for Brianna's life to be taken, and for the apartment to be left in the chaotic state they had seen.
Do you know what kind of car Sebastian has?
It's a blue car.
How about Hugo?
He has a truck, a white truck.
How about Brianna?
I know it's a white car.
Do you know where they usually park their cars when they're at home?
No.
Do you remember if you saw any of those cars when you came to pick up Luciano?
No, I don't know.
You don't remember? So if I asked you if Sebastian's car was there, what would you say?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. How about Hugo's?
No, I know Hugo's was in the restaurant because he was parking in the back. And that was my car, my mom's car, the back too. Yeah, I saw Hugo's car.
How about Brianna's car?
No.
You didn't see it? Would you normally notice that, or?
No, really.
After picking up Luciano, did you go straight back to the restaurant, or did you stop anywhere?
No, we go straight back.
Straight back. How long do you think you were gone in total?
Like 20 minutes.
Then once you guys both go into work, did either of you have to leave work again for any reason, or go back outside for any reason?
Well, no. I left again, but that was like in the afternoon when Rogelio asked me if I can be a waiter, because Hugo and Sebastian were gone, and I went home to change to be a waiter because I was with my cook clothes.
Oh, what time was that then that he asked you to do that?
That was like almost 4, maybe 3:30.
When you left to pick Luciano up, were you still wearing your white chef shirt?
Yeah.
But then Luciano had to come in and change into his white?
Yep.
Is that kept at work?
Yep.
Oh. What else? What other duties do you guys have to do besides cook in the back?
Oh, the dishwashers.
Dishwashers too? Does anybody else have to go out? Where do you guys dump all the garbage?
By IHOP, in the corner, like that.
Oh, okay. How many containers are out there for dumping?
I'm not sure. I think it's one for garbage and one for the cardboard.
Do you remember if you went out to the dumpster anytime that day?
No, not that day.
The questions would continue with a calm tone. As Detective Cord tried to draw Raul into admitting something, but Raul sat steady, never letting a confession slip. Yet what Cord did not realize was that Raul's background check had already revealed a critical truth. He was inside the United States without legal status. And once that information surfaced, the investigators reached out to ICE to secure permission to hold him in custody. With that green light in place, the calm approach began to shift. The patient started to wear thin, and the detectives were now ready to apply pressure harder than ever before.
Didn't know what to show.
Those are the same pants that you wore on Saturday? What, those shoes?
Yeah.
Those are the same ones?
Go ahead and take this. We'll let you do it yourself. Just stick it in your mouth and just rub it against your cheek real hard. Okay?
The other thing we'll ask your permission to do, well, aside from the fingerprints too, but can you show us your hands? Do you have any injuries, any cuts to your hands? These? This? Is that one on your belt? What about this down here? What's that one? What's this one from?
Slicing onions.
Onion? When did you do that?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Alright. How about this one?
The same. Like shaving the knife.
Sharpening? Or?
Sharpening the knife.
Oh. When was that?
The same day.
Same as that one? How about this one? On your thumb and the IV one?
I don't know.
Okay. Take your shirt off.
We just want to see if you have any
injuries
or anything. Before you do that, though, can you just take your hat off? I'm just going to take a picture of you. Okay.
This one too?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just turn around real quick.
When we talk to people, try to get information, we have other information we compare it to. And if the information matches up like this, no problem. When the information doesn't quite match up, doesn't mean there's a problem, just means we have to explain a little bit more. So I'm trying to figure out these details because based on what you're telling me, there's some inconsistencies in what you're telling me with what other information we have. And I want to be very clear about it because it's very important. The first one is, you said it took you 20 minutes to go to and from.
Yeah.
Okay. Could it have been 10 minutes?
know because I don't. I always try like to the limit.
Okay. Could it have been an hour?
No.
No. Half hour?
When you come back, like we told you before, you're not wearing that brown sweatshirt when you walk in. What did you do with it? Where is it?
It's in the house.
It is in your house. Where in your house?
It's in my room.
In your room? Okay. So, what other place could it be if you leave wearing it,
Maybe in the car.
you don't get out of the car, and when you come back in to the restaurant, you're not wearing it?
I'm trying to think where.
So where would it be?
In the car.
In the car. You think you left it in the car?
Well, I think I don't remember, but I think what I did, it's like wet my hair. It's a force in the back, not force, water thing. Like
There's a water tank behind the restaurant?
not tank, a thing where you open it and it's water. I don't
Okay.
know what it's called, like faucet. And maybe I like because I used to do it like when I'm like sweating when I'm warm, like I put water in my head.
So when you come back, you use the faucet?
Maybe I don't remember.
Raul would continue insisting that he could not remember anything, his answers circling back to the same claim of forgetfulness every time the detectives tried to corner him. Eventually, the decision was made to keep him in custody at the station, and soon after a warrant was granted to search his home. It was there that the disturbing truth began to take shape. Inside the house, investigators uncovered a collection of women's underwears, stacked alongside adult films, a discovery that hinted at obsessions far darker than anyone expected. But what truly shattered the silence was a simple piece of clothing. The brown t-shirt Raul had worn on the day Brianna lost her life, folded carelessly among his belongings. On that shirt clung a single brown hair that forensic testing would later confirm as belonging to Brianna. And with that detail, the investigation no longer rested on suspicions alone, but on evidence that tied Raul directly to her final moments. The investigators built their case piece by piece based on the evidence they had gathered. First came the restaurant surveillance footage that revealed Raul's suspicious movements. Then the DNA testing that confirmed his genetic traces on the knife and on the plastic bag, followed by the shoe print in the bathroom that matched his footwear. And finally, the disturbing items found inside his home. Even without a direct confession from Raul, the detectives were able to construct a chilling motive. On the morning of May 2nd, 2009, Raul believed Brianna was not home after noticing that her car was missing. He knew Hugo and Sebastian were at the restaurant, and so he saw an opportunity. He slipped into the apartment not to steal money or valuables, but to take Brianna's intimate clothing. What he did not realize was that she was inside the apartment the whole time, her car simply not parked outside. When she confronted him, he lashed out with such force that the knife he used snapped against her neck, leaving the apartment in chaos, and her life ended in silence. The case moved to trial in early 2011. Raul was charged with first-degree intentional homicide alongside burglary and theft. The proceedings were brief, and it took the jury only 90 minutes to reach their decision.
Find the defendant, Raul Ponce Rocha, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide.
Raul Ponce Rocha was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime documentaries. See you in the next video.